What's up, everybody? I'm Michael Chris, 3 years running bestseller at ShineOn. Now I'm the CMO of ShineOn. I wanted to thank you so much for checking out our YouTube video. And if you like this kind of content, I want you to like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I hope you enjoy the video. What's up? What's going on, everybody? Michael here. Welcome to another Coffee with Michael. It's going to be the best one we have ever had. I guarantee it. Best one this week anyways. Best one this month by far. Guaranteed. I'm pre-recording this one, actually, because I'm having some work done on the house. We're having some new floors put in, and they're starting in the room right above this one tomorrow. When I would normally be doing my Coffee with Michael live, we're going to hear hammering and nails and all kinds of stuff. So I'm pre-recording this one. It's going to be just as good, if not better, than what they normally are. I'm still going to be here in spirit, and so is everybody else. So that's cool. We're still going to circle the globe with our digital marketers toast. So there is no better way to kick off one of these. It's the best start to an entire weekend and a productive next week. We get that dopamine kick in, get the caffeine flowing through our veins, get our brains ready to learn, right? Everybody ready? Raise up your glasses, mugs, bottles, and flasks, and join me now for the Digital Marketer's Toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs to enable ad accounts and big bank accounts, upsells, downsells, and cross-sells to winning products and repeat sales, and to the thing that everybody knows, the riches are in the niches, but also your email flows. Are you ready? Drink. That is how we do it right there. Is everybody feeling that? Everything's feeling a little bit magical now. It's better than it was just a second ago. You guys picking up on that? Some of you might even feel some tinglies right now. Tinglies, right? It's all because of the toast. There's magic in that. All right, everybody. Today, we're going to be talking about these Father's Day watches. Let me get this up on the screen here. Almost. There we go. Let me blow that up. Get my little fancy laser pointer going on. There we go. The Father's Day watches. These things have taken off like a freaking rocket. They've been super well received by the community, better than we even anticipated. And they are selling like hotcakes. It's actually incredible. The sales are beyond what we even projected, which is quite amazing, honestly. So these watches are the stuff. If you're sitting on the fence, you shouldn't be. Get in on the watches. They're selling super hot right now. Lots of people complain that men are just kind of difficult to buy for. Well, the watch really solves that problem. It's a great gift for men. It's good for casual wear, good for professional wear. It really ticks a lot of boxes. If you're not selling the watch, I highly recommend it. Get that watch into your store, get some SVGs on it, or use it as a plug and play kind of buy or upload drop shipping product. It will sell guaranteed. We're also seeing it move a lot on our non-traditional platforms or more the unpopular platforms like Etsy, Amazon, things like that. So you're not boxed into just using Facebook with the watches. Before we really get into it and how to make the most of the watches, we're going to talk about seller success here a little bit. So first, let's highlight Adalberto, and I'm really sorry on this one. I'm sure I'm messing that up. Good to see you, Bert. Looks like you go by Bert. I can handle that. Amazing job. Congratulations. $255 in revenue. Graduation and Father's Day products. Amazing. Thank you so much for sharing your success. You've got some free swag coming your way. For anybody here that's new, this is why I highlight these every single week. It's for you to see that this is possible for anybody. Anybody that's looking for a side gig, side income, part-time income, just wanting to experiment with entrepreneurial opportunities. Some people even replace their 9-to-5s right here with ShineOn. I truly believe it's the best entrepreneurial opportunity in the history of the world. You get to sell products you've never seen before that you don't have to risk your own capital to hold inventory on, to people that you've never met, right? To customers that you don't have to service. You don't have to do any of the own shipping. You don't even have to manage your own store. All you have to do is take an idea that starts in your brain, put it on a product using free software like Canva, and then sell using distribution channels that rival Target, a Walmart, a Costco for literally pennies on the dollar. It's an unbelievable opportunity that you have right now. 2021 is an amazing time to be alive. There's never been anything like this in the history of the world. There may not be ever again, quite honestly. You never know how things change. You really should be taking advantage of this opportunity if you're not already. Bert is taking advantage of it. Congratulations, Bert. You have got some swag coming your way. Next up on the list is Jagdish. I think you've gotten some swag before, but don't worry, buddy. We got some more coming for you. One sale, $331, and it was on the watch. The first 500 watches, which are gone now, the first 500 watches we gave away completely for free. So he got pure profit here, $331, pure profit, pure revenue. This is an Etsy screenshot from Etsy. So that he didn't even have any money in ad spend to get this sale. Unbelievable. Look at those AOVs too. 3 watches. No, I'm sorry. It doesn't have the number of units here. I'm guessing that is at least 4, maybe 5 watches. $331. Absolutely incredible. Congratulations, Jagdish. Thank you for sharing. You've got some swag coming your way. Next up is Georgie. I actually know Georgie. Georgie's a great dude. He did $8,960 in revenue. This is from Etsy. He said he had been banned from Facebook, right? He switched over to Etsy and bam, he is making a killing already. $9,000 in revenue, 2.2% conversion rate, 219 orders. It looks like these are his stats from the beginning of the year. But keep in mind, most of the people on Etsy, these are organic sales. They don't have any ad spend on this. So who wouldn't like to have an additional $9,000-ish in their pocket from the beginning of the year? Raise your hand if that is you. I know a bunch of you would be interested in that. I would be. Georgie, congratulations. Good work, buddy. Thank you so much for sharing. You've got some swag coming your way. Look, folks, I do this every single week. We go through the group. We find testimonials. We find people sharing good value posts, screenshots like this one. If you share that in the group, you might get highlighted here and be up for some free swag. You can get something like this T-shirt here, right? This ShineOn T-shirt. We also have a really cool backpack like this one here. Pretty sure we got, I don't know, a notebook. We've got a mug. We got all kinds of stuff. All of it could be yours for free. Just simply share a screenshot, a testimonial, a value post in the group, and we'll have something out to you so you can enjoy that sweet ShineOn swag. All right, everybody ready for some learning? Let's switch our caps here, right? Let's go from being excited and pumped up, and we got that dopamine flowing through our veins, right? From our little hit of coffee. Let's move now to thinking, to learning, right? Open your ears, open your mind. Let's go. All right, first, let's talk about these watches and how you can take advantage of these. The watches are going to be perfect for the male demographic, right? Most of the people that receive the watch as a gift, they're going to be men, okay? They're going to be fathers with Father's Day around the corner. Some of them will be husbands, right? So many new husbands, right? Their wives are pregnant or just had a baby, something like that. The wife is looking for a gift for her husband. This watch fits the bill perfectly. It's going to tick a lot of boxes. Now, the watches are going to be great to niche down on, right? Because you have all these. So one of the interesting things about men is the niches, I feel like, are even more important for men than they are for a lot of women. But that's because men are what they do. They are their job, their profession, their hobby, right? How many men do you think of as bikers, as fishers, as truckers, as whatever it is, right? Veterans. You don't really tend to think of women in much the same way. It's mostly men that are just, they're into things, right? So if you can highlight their niche on the product, it's going to increase the chances somebody's going to buy it. And it's also going to increase the chance that the receiver of the gift is going to enjoy that particular product. So anyway, here's some super popular niches that you can go into. These niches are huge on Facebook, and I'm going to show you how to use Facebook to kind of crawl around and find some of these niches here in a minute. But fishing is a gigantic niche. And then inside of fishing, like if you're going to be trying to build an ad and target people that are into fishing, you have some of these sub interests that you can add to fishing or add into additional ad sets like Field of Stream, Cabela's Miller Lite. We're going to talk more about that in just a minute, how we got those, what we're going to use those for in our targeting and things like that. So don't get hung up on those. pay attention to the high level niches here. You have fishing, you have hunting. Hunting is a gigantic niche for men. Motorcycles, not just these sport bikes, kind of like what you see here, but also the roadsters, the Harley Davidsons of the world. Those are two distinct biker niches that you can go into. You have firefighters, policemen, the first responder niche. That's really big, and it's a very passionate niche. It's a close-knit community. You have truckers. Trucking is the #1 profession in the United States. There are more male truckers than I think any other profession. So trucking is a really big one. Another great thing about trucking, in particular, or truckers as a niche, is most of the time these people are on the road. They're away for the holidays and things like that. And having a little gift that they can take with them or that they can mail ahead to some place they're going to be is perfect. And that's exactly what ShineOn really excels in, these small little giftable items. You also have construction workers. Construction workers is another really great niche to go into for men. So these are the high level niches that you can focus on with the watch, but it doesn't just have to be limited to this. There are a million niches. There are engineering niches, programming niches for like the nerds. There's gym rats. There's all kinds of stuff you can go into for men in particular for these niches. Now, the real question is, okay, so if the man is into the niche like fishing, let's say, how on earth do you target that man, the fisherman's wife or daughter, right? How do you target the wife or the daughter of the fisherman? And I've got a few tricks for you. The first easiest answer is, well, you could just try to go broad, right? Just imagine what the wife or daughter is going to be into and try to target some of this stuff over here. Friendship, shopping, family, knitting, engaged shoppers. You're going to have to experiment around and see where you can find pockets of buyers, but you can go kind of broad and you don't have to get super scientific about it. However, I am going to show you how you can try to find this stuff here in the middle of this Venn diagram. So if you look at this as a Venn diagram, right, you have what the father's interested in, so or husband, he's into fishing, and then you have what the wife and daughter is interested in, that's knitting, friendship, and shopping. But what do they have in common, right? Because if you can target this stuff here, right, there's a better chance that you're going to find the wife or the daughter of this guy, right? If you can target this stuff in the middle that they share as an interest, you're going to have a better chance of making sure that your targeting here works. Hope that makes sense. So I'm going to show you a quick trick for how you can do that. It's actually not that difficult. So what we're going to be using is Audience Insights, the Audience Insight tool. This is inside of Facebook. You use Audience Insights for niche discovery. You can use it even for your phrase research and for your targeting. We're going to focus a lot on targeting here with Audience Insights. So to get to Audience Insights, you're going to go inside to Ads Manager. You're going to click your hamburger menu inside of Ads Manager. That's this menu with the 3 lines or 3 dots. It looks a little bit like a hamburger. And then you're going to go down to Audience Insights right here. Audience Insights, it's under the Analyze and Report section. Everybody's Audience Manager these days looks a little bit different, and you can access Audience Insights from different screens within Audience Manager, and that will also make it look a little different. So if you click into your menu, it doesn't look exactly like what I've got here. Don't panic. Just kind of fish around in there. Fishing, get it? Look around in there until you find Audience Insights. Hit that, and it'll take you to a screen that's going to look something like this. It's not going to be quite as populated and filled out as mine is, but it's going to look something like this. We're over on the left. You have all this room to put in demographics and interests and ages and all that kind of stuff. And then over on the right, you have room for things to populate, right? Now, what you're going to do, like let's say we take fishing, for example. Remember, you want to target, you want to figure out what some of these are. What are some things, right, in the middle of the Venn diagram, right, that these women will have in common with these men, right? That's the goal. We're trying to solve for this, right? This is the X we're trying to solve for, the variable we're trying to figure out. So back to Audience Insights, what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in fishing, right, into Audience Insights. So first I'm going to go to men. I'm going to plug in an age. I'm going to plug in fishing because, and then I'm going to search. And as I do, over on the right, Facebook is going to start to populate a bunch of data, right? A bunch of data about these people, about the men that are 25 plus that are into fishing. And Facebook's going to start to populate a bunch of this data. Now there's up at the top, you're going to see tabs. There's demographic data, affinity data. There's a bunch of different stuff. I'm in the affinity tab here, right? But you can harvest information, good information, from all of the tabs, every single one of them, right? But I'm in the affinity tab here. So what I've done is I plugged in fishing, and you'll see that it returned all these categories, right? And there will even be pages down underneath the category section that people, men, they were interested in fishing, they were 25 plus, were into, right? So you have local businesses that they're into, you have the magazines, conservation organizations, companies, tools and equipment, services, clothing, food and beverage companies, retail, clothing stores, that kind of thing. Now, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to find interests, right? Things in here that are going to be gender neutral, right? That maybe the women will like too. Because keep in mind, I'm trying to solve for this stuff here in the middle of our Venn diagram. Where is the overlap between the men who like fishing and their wives or daughters? That's what I'm trying to solve for. So what I've done in Audience Insights is I plugged this in, right? And now it's telling me all the stuff that these guys are interested in. And now I'm trying to figure out, okay, where is the overlap? Where might the overlap be for the wives or daughters in their lives? And you can see here that there are some pretty benign or gender neutral interests coming back. So you have Field and Stream magazine, and that may not seem gender neutral on the face of it, but trust me, you get out into the country, you get out into the rural areas. I'm from Kansas City. I've spent a lot of time in the country. Field and Stream is pretty gender neutral when you get kind of outside of your big cities. Craftsman can be gender neutral. Some of your beers can be gender neutral as well. You also have some clothing lines in here that can be gender neutral and things like that. Cabela's comes up a little later in this. Cabela's could be kind of gender neutral. Don't get me wrong, they're a little bit more masculine, but they don't have to be perfect in the spot. You're just trying to find the overlap. These are going to give you some interests to test. If you look down here at the bottom, what we've done down here at the bottom was we plugged fishing in at top, and fishing suggested a bunch of these other kind of interests. And then we took those interests and we plugged them in down here, because each time you added interest, we stacked those categories. All the data on the right would redraw and it would get more defined. So when we plug this stuff in, when we plug Field and Stream, Miller Lite, and fishing into the thing, it redrew all of this data. And you'll notice Cabela's popped up now as a sporting goods store. Cabela's would be a pretty good interest. Keep in mind, it's retail, it's shopping, things like that. Plus, women that are buying gifts for their men, and if their men are into hunting and fishing, they're probably shopping at Cabela's. If they've interacted with Cabela's enough, Facebook may have tagged them with some kind of Cabela's interest, right? You see where I'm going here? That's how you find these little pockets. This is how you solve for the middle of that diagram. So you can see Cabela's now is over here. So we have these secondary interests. So now when I'm doing my testing, these are some of the things I might actually test for. These are the pockets or these interests that I might use in my testing. Now I've populated the Venn diagram so you can really kind of see how all this comes together. First, we were trying to solve for what's in the middle here because we weren't sure. To get there, we plugged this side of the equation in, right? So we plugged all the father stuff in. So 25 men with fishing, all this stuff came up. We kind of dug a little deeper. So we started plugging this stuff into our interests. And when we did that, it suggested Cabela's. Cabela's is a pretty good one. And now we jump down to the next slide and we start to fill in these interests. These are things we're going to test. These are going to represent individual ad sets when we start running our ads, because we're going to start running our ads to these interests kind of in the middle, especially if we're targeting a father or a husband that's into fishing. So now we have Field and Stream, Miller Lite, and Cabela's. It doesn't have to just stop there. It can expand. Let's see here. I want to jump down to this real quick, and we'll go back to phrase research. I just feel like it fits a little better here. So remember, we got fishing, Field and Stream, Cabela's, Miller Lite. These are all kind of the interests we have. If you get into your ad set and you start looking at the targeting, you're going to be able to plug in fishing, hit the suggestions button, and Facebook is also going to help you. It's going to start to suggest other items that you can plug in here. And keep in mind, you can also use this as a tool to try to find those items that are kind of gender neutral, where there might be overlap between the men and the women. And it doesn't just have to be fishing. That's kind of the example here. You can also do Cabela's, right? Keep in mind, you don't want the employers. You'll see my demographic breakdown here is a little jacked up. You want Cabela's as an interest right here. See how it's an interest? Cabela's is an interest, right?
that would be a great one to kind of target. And once you add that, or you add fishing and Cabela's, it'll start to redraw this again and again and again, and it'll give you more and more suggestions that you can go after. So this is how you want to do your targeting. This is how you kind of want to think about it. It's how you want to solve for the middle of that Venn diagram. Because remember, with gifting, you're in this weird situation where you're doing what's called reverse targeting. You can't target the man who's into fishing. He's not going to buy a Father's Day gift for himself. You have to target his wife or his daughter. So how do you do that? Follow these steps here. It'll really help you narrow down some interests that you can test. Okay, let's go back up here now and let's talk a little bit about phrase research. Phrase research. So phrase research is not super difficult. I'm going to make it super easy for you, especially if you're new. You should have no problem following this at all. The easy thing to do is go to some platforms, right? You have Etsy. Etsy's a real common platform. This is free to use. You have AdSpy. This is a paid research tool. It's like $150 a month. It is worth it though. You can get a lot of great information from it. You have Pinterest. Pinterest is another free tool that you can use for phrase research. And then Amazon, obviously. Everybody knows what Amazon is. So what you can do is you can go to each of these platforms and you can plug in some keywords that you think people might search for looking for a Father's Day gift. So Etsy, to my dad, gift for dad. Pinterest, to my dad, Father's Day phrases, gifts for dad. Pinterest is also great for like funny Father's Day quotes, funny Father's Day for phrases, funny Father's Day memes, all that kind of stuff. Pinterest is a treasure trove for that kind of thing. Amazon, you have Father's Day gift, gift for dad, to my dad. Some of these share, like Etsy and Amazon, a lot of the same keywords should work inside of each. And then what you're going to do is you're going to try to evaluate those search results to see which phrases, right, or which products are selling well, because that's going to give you an indicator of what's resonating with the marketplace as we move into Father's Day, right? You're going to be able to take inspiration from those products and try to create your own. So on Etsy, you've got the bestseller tag. On Etsy in your search results, you're going to want to be looking for bestseller tags. If you see a bestseller tag on a product, click into the product and you want to see if it's got recent reviews. Recent reviews are very important on Etsy. The way they tag things for bestsellers, it's all kind of weird. You want to make sure that it's got recent reviews. If it's got recent reviews, that tells you the product is trending right now. Also, it's to figure out if a phrase is hot. Look to see if the phrase is repeated on multiple different products in the search results. That will tell you if that phrase is getting a lot of traction in the marketplace. If you're seeing it on a lot of different products, that usually tells you it's a hot phrase. Now, keep in mind, you have to be kind of careful here because you can't just always go after what's popular. It's usually good to try to put some kind of spin on it. So what you can do is you can take like a generic Father's Day phrase and then spin it to be like a fishing Father's Day phrase. This is very important because if you just take what's already popular and what's already been done, there's a good chance it's not going to work very well for you because the marketplace has been saturated with it already. You typically want to bring something to it that's a little bit fresh. Spin it to a particular niche, maybe change a little bit up in the phrase itself to make it fresh and make it different and make it new and make it appeal to a different audience. That's kind of how you want to think to it. You kind of got to do a sprinkling of your own creativity on top of what's already working if you really want to see things take off. Let's talk about Pinterest and Amazon, then we'll move to AdSpy. With Pinterest, if you're looking for Father's Day memes, funny Father's Day quotes, funny Father's Day phrases, that kind of thing. Again, it's you're going to want to see which pins are repeated the most. Which phrases are you seeing more often than not? That is going to tell you what's resonating with the audience. And then again, when you find it, you're going to want to put your own sprinkling of creativity on it if you really want it to take off. And then Amazon is similar. With Amazon, you plug in your keywords. You're going to want to be looking for the amount of reviews, and you also want to make sure the reviews are positive. Now, keep in mind, whether or not the review is positive usually has more to do with product quality than anything else. But you definitely want to look to see if there are reviews because the reviews will be an indicator of what is popular inside of the platform, right? So if on Amazon you're seeing a phrase that gets repeated a lot and let's say in the top 10 results you have the same phrase appearing 3 times, that probably tells you that phrase is onto something, especially if you're seeing a lot of reviews on those products. Keep in mind that 5 to 10% of people, maybe even less than that, end up leaving reviews. So when you see a product with 1,000 reviews, that tells you it's got 10,000 sales potentially. So the reviews can really be an indicator of what's popular and what isn't. But again, you don't want to just pluck a phrase and then rip it, right? You need to add your own sprinkling of creativity on it to make it fresh, make it new, make it appeal to a different audience. It's very important. It's why I keep repeating that, especially when you're new. I know how easy it is to just kind of steal, you know what I mean? But you don't want to do that. You need to bring your own sprinkling of creativity to it, because that's what makes it fresh, makes it different, maybe makes it appeal to different niches. And then finally with AdSpy is a little different because it's a database of ads. So in that way, it's kind of a search engine, but it's definitely not a marketplace like Etsy or Amazon or even like a meme or image marketplace like a Pinterest. So with AdSpy, what you want to do is up at the top in the search text, you probably want to put something like dad, Father's Day, gift, something like that. For the date range, you're going to want to search for last Father's Day. And then when it populates all the results, I usually like to sort it by social proof. So I like to do likes, comments, shares, something like that. That will usually tell you what's trending. And keep in mind, you're very often, especially for holidays, it's not unusual to see the same phrase popping up on a mug, on a t-shirt, maybe on jewelry before, on a hoodie or whatever it is. Keep in mind, you don't want to just take the phrase and steal it, right? It's very important that you put your own angle, your own spin on it. That's what's going to give it new wings this holiday. Is going to make you stand out from everybody else. So that's very, very important. I think I've said that 4 or 5 times now, but I'm doing that on purpose. Pick up on the cue. It's super important. All right, so here's some examples of some things you may see come back in the search results. So you have Etsy. I hooked the best daddy, so it's kind of a play on the fishing. You have great fisherman, better dad, love Jacob and Abigail. That'd be great on a watch. I mean, that would just translate to a SVG pretty easily. If you were on your own Shopify store and you wanted to use Artwork Swapper, you could even let them put in their names, which would be pretty incredible. Papa's Best Catches. Again, this is another one with Artwork Swapper that would work really well, where they could add the number of fish and things like that. It requires a little setup on your side, but you could definitely do that. Real Cool Dad. I like the play on real there. It's kind of a fishing pun, but this is just an example. These are things that popped up on Etsy, Pinterest, Amazon. But what you're going to want to do is make it fresh in some kind of way. You know, what you could do is put "to my real cool dad" and then do a little bit of a phrase, right? And then you could put from Dad's Best Catches and then put your name or something like that. I mean, there's so many ways you can add flavor and spice to the phrases. The creative potential is seriously almost limitless. So do not get boxed into what you see here. Think how you can make it different. Think how you can make it unique. It's very important. All right. Here's some results that came back for hunting. My hunting buddy calls me dad. That one's kind of boring, but it was selling really well, probably because of the bullet casing here. But still, you know, maybe on a watch, just a real simple little phrase like that. You never know, it may work well on a watch. Here's a phrase that came back from AdSpy. This is a little bit long, probably wouldn't fit on a watch, but maybe you could take a piece or an artifact of this and make it on a watch. To my dad, I know it's not easy for a man to raise a child, and there's no way I can pay you back. I just want to let you know you're appreciated. It doesn't matter how far I go in life. I'll always be your little boy, and you'll always be my dad, my hero. I love you, your son. Love your son, right? And you could maybe put some antlers on there as kind of the SVG and really shorten this down, and maybe that would work on a watch to like a hunting dad. Great dad, great deer hunter, right? That right there may work on a watch. I actually kind of like this design. You could almost, I wouldn't recommend this. You would want to redesign it. You could almost take this concept and put it on a watch, and I could see that working. Best bucking dad ever. I actually love that. It's kind of funny. The cool thing about the watch is the engravings on the underside of the watch, so nobody gets to see it. This would be pretty cool. Best bucking dad ever. And then underneath it, you could have underneath the design, you could also have the name of who the gifter was from, so-and-so, or just from your son, from your daughter, whatever it is. So that one's pretty funny and pretty cool. Already covered the targeting. We've got some free designs here. So we moved through this pretty quick. If you guys have any questions, drop them below. I'm going to try to stick around and answer some of the questions tomorrow and through the weekend. So whatever questions you have, go ahead and drop them below. Again, sorry that this one was recorded, but we've got some work going on in the house, and I just doing a live one I don't think was going to pan out very well. All right, so we do have some free designs for you. These are all watch designs, and they all are kind of niche down, right? So you have these first responder ones, which are, it's a super hot niche. You see Stay Safe, I Need You Here With Me. It's got a pretty cool looking firefighter helmet with the face mask and the firefighter axes is pretty cool. Stay Safe, I Need You Here With Me. This one's got kind of the badge going on. It's kind of neat. Ride Safe, right? Daddy, I Need You Here With Me. These are all phrases that we saw work super well on some little keychains and things like that. So on a watch, it would be perfect. It's something that they wear all the time. It's a constant reminder. We thought that was cool. Best Bucking Dad Ever. Pretty freaking cool. You've got My Hunting Buddy Calls Me Dad, right? There you go. You got kind of the guns crossed and some geese flying up. Notice they're all like very niche down. I mean, this is perfect. I will always be your little girl. You'll always be my hero. Another first responder one. Here's the same one for a firefighter. I Hook the Best Dad, right? That one's pretty cool. Great Fisherman, Better Dad. All on a watch would be perfect. Biker Dad, like a normal dad, only cooler. Now, keep in mind that you do have a little bit of room for some phrases on the watch, but I mean, they have to be short, like in order for the watch to be seen. You don't have to stick to the watch, but the watches guys are just selling like it's a new product in the news feed. It's stopping the scroll. They're selling like crazy. So highly recommend get in there, try some of these watches. I'm going to put this link in the post, right? So if you want to download any of these and try these or modify them or whatever it is you want to do, you're going to be able to download this. You'll find the link right in the Facebook post where you're seeing this video. No problem at all. But you don't have to limit yourself to the watches. The crosses are selling really well right now. It's another kind of men's gift. And then also you have the keychains. You have a screwdriver keychain. Any one of these would work really well in the screwdriver keychain. And then also in addition to the screwdriver keychain, you have the dog tags. The dog tag keychain. All of those would work super well. Also, don't forget, the new father's niche is another really big one that's relatively untapped. You get a design working in that new father's niche, you basically dominate it. I've seen it happen over and over and over again. So you definitely don't want to ignore that. So that is going to be a wrap. This is how you can take advantage of watches for Father's Day, right? So maybe I'll just run through it again super freaking quickly. So you want to niche down for sure. Men are what they do, right? So you definitely want to do fishing, hunting, policemen, truckers, something like that. Remember, you're doing reverse targeting. You're not targeting the father here with your ads. You're targeting the wife or the daughter, right? So how do you do that inside of Facebook? Well, you have to solve for this stuff in the middle of the Venn diagram. Like if these are all the father's interests, these are all the wife and daughter's interests, you got to solve for what's in the middle here, right? So if the man likes fishing, how do you figure this stuff out, right? Well, what you can do is you can use the Audience Insights tool. To get there, hit your hamburger menu in Ads Manager, go to Audience Insights. Once you're here, plug in the man inside of Audience Insights. So men 25 into fishing, right? Go to the Affinity tab up here at the top and look at all the stuff that kind of populates here. What you're going to be looking for, the things that are gender neutral, See Field and Stream, Craftsman, Miller Lite, Coors Light, Crown Royal. You'll be able to plug those into the interest, start stacking those up, and it'll keep redrawing, repainting these. You'll be able to dive really deep into the niche, and you'll see down here Cabela's popped up. Cabela's is a sporting goods store. It's a retail store. It's got men and women shopping at it, and kind of the thinking here with Cabela's is that if a female has a dad or a husband that's into fishing, hunting, whatever it is, and she's shopping at Cabela's, there's a good chance Facebook is going to say, oh, this individual's interested in Cabela's, right? She's buying gifts for these guys all the time. She's got some interest in Cabela's. That is how you find the interest that you're going to want to plug into your ad set. So now we've solved for what's in the middle of the Venn diagram here. You can see Field and Stream, Miller Lite, Cabela's. And don't just stop there. Go on, make a list, 5, 10, 15, 20. Test those in your ad sets when you're trying to sell the watch to a particular niche and see how it goes. And by the way, try some of these over here too. See what works better for you, the more broad kind of like obviously female interest, or some of these others that kind of fit in the middle of the Venn diagram. After that, you're definitely going to want to do some unique phrase research. You can use Etsy, AdSpy, Pinterest, or Amazon. Make sure you bring in your own sprinkling of creativity to whatever phrase you decide to go on. Niche it down, niche it in a different way. Use my Franken phrases method to kind of tie it off a little differently. It's going to be very important. Here are just some basic results of some things that you can get inspiration from, like real cool dad. I really like the play on words there, the pun. I like the personalization of Papa's Best Catches, but you're going to need Artwork Swapper and a Shopify store to do that. We do have our own tool coming for the platform at some point. It's a little ways out. Best bucking dad ever. It's kind of funny. It would be perfect short phrase for a watch now. So I really like this one. Great dad, great deer hunter. It's a very simple phrase, but think you can flip this so many ways. Great dad, great fisherman, great dad, great deer hunter, great dad, great trucker, great biker, whatever it is. You can flip it in a bunch of ways. So that one's kind of cool. Then inside of ads manager at the ad set level, when you're actually creating the ad, you can stack interests right here. Click this little suggestions button. Facebook will give you a ton of other interests you can go after. You can stack these a bunch and it'll just keep redrawing these results here. And you can find you can find unique ones and build your ad sets however you want. So that's pretty cool. And then here's some free designs, and you can get the link from the post. So, all right, everybody. Hope you enjoyed this week's Coffee with Michael. Next week, we'll be live again here, same time, same place. I really look forward to seeing you. Happy selling those watches. I hope everybody has a great Father's Day run, and we will catch you on the flippity flip. Adios. Hey, Michael here again. Thank you so much for checking out today's video. If you like the content, make sure you like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. And there's one more thing I want you to do. Check out the links in the description below. I want you to look at the link to ShineOn.com where you can sign up and become a seller with us today. It literally takes 60 seconds and it could change your life. Secondly, I want you to go to our Facebook group. It's the most engaged e-commerce group on the planet. We're constantly sharing important tips, tricks, and things like that that can help you on your seller journey and level up your e-commerce game. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope you have a great one. Take care.